Hello football fans, welcome to our channel. If you are a football lover, you are in the right place. Before we start, subscribe to the channel and leave your like so that we can bring you more news about your favorite team in the world of football and so that YouTube knows that the content is relevant and can deliver it to more people. Manchester United 0-3 Newcastle United. Newcastle United claimed their second Old Trafford victory over Manchester United since 1972 to avenge their Carabao Cup final defeat at Wembley and pile the pressure on home manager Erik ten Hag. First-half goals from substitute Miguel Almiron and Lewis Hall, his first for the club, were followed up by a solo effort from Joe Willock on the hour to give Newcastle their biggest away win over their hosts in 93 years as they cruised into the quarter-finals. Newcastle will travel to Stamford Bridge to take on fellow Premier League side Chelsea, who beat Blackburn 2-0 in the fourth round. It was another desperate day for Manchester United and Ten Hag, who have lost 8 of their opening 15 games for the first time since the 1962-63 season. Coming just 3 days after they suffered another 3-goal home humiliation at the hands of Manchester City, the home side's weaknesses were again cruelly exposed. Diogo Dalot was replaced at halftime following his failure to track Almiron's right-wing burst for the opener. Returning Brazilian midfielder Casemiro did not reappear for the second half either, with Ten Hag evidently unimpressed by the former Real Madrid man. Hall struck a fine second as he met Harry Maguire's headed clearance with a first-time volley. Willock's effort emulated Hall's by finding the bottom corner after he had been allowed to run 30 yards unchecked before shooting after Sofiane Amrabat had lost possession on the halfway line. In a week where the size of their kit has been questioned, Manchester United's players could have done with shirts big enough to cover their heads as, for the second game running, they were booed off at the end of both halves. Red Devils' downward spiral gathers pace. Manchester United's collapse in form since they beat Newcastle at Wembley in February to end a near 6-year trophy drought has been stunning. Ten Hag lost 6 of his first 40 games in charge up to that EFL Cup final success. They have lost 13 of 36 since. They have lost consecutive home matches by 3 goals or more for the first time since October 1962. As was the case with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer 2 seasons ago, the downturn has been totally unexpected given his side finished third last season and reached the FA Cup final in addition to their trophy success. Ten Hag has spent in excess of £350 million over 3 transfer windows. 5 of his signings started the game and 6 finished it. None emerged with any real credit, although it could be argued goalkeeper Andre Onana was blameless for all 3 Newcastle goals. Casemiro before the break and Amrabat after it failed to plug gaps in midfield. Once again Mason Mount was anonymous. The home side's best chance was squandered when Anthony Martial appeared to pull out of a header, despite being barely 6 yards out in the centre of the goal, when he seemed to hear a call from Mount behind him. Mount failed to control and the opportunity disappeared. Not that the issues enveloping Old Trafford are any concern of Newcastle, whose fans revelled in their opponent's discomfort, chanting, "You'll be sacked" in the morning and taunting over the number of empty red seats on show from fans leaving well before the final whistle. Target injury the only negative for Newcastle. The game could not have got off to a worse start for the visitors. With 5 senior players out injured, plus Sandro Tonali ruled out for 10 months due to his gambling ban, Newcastle could ill afford any more personnel issues. But after just 2 minutes Matt Targett went down with what seemed to be a pretty severe hamstring injury on the basis he could barely walk off the pitch, such was the pain he was in. Continuing was clearly out of the question and, as the English season heads towards its most congested point, Howe will now be fearing he will be without the services of Targett for a while. At that point, which his options so limited, Howe must have feared the worst. Instead, Almiron broke the deadlock, racing on to Tino Livramento's crossfield pass to set Newcastle on their way to a memorable and thoroughly deserved victory. At the end, Howe and his players saluted a 9,000-strong travelling support, whose backing was constant. But then, they had plenty to sing about. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, leave your like to help our channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. And if you have any suggestions or comments, feel free to share them with us in the comments below. Thanks for watching and until the next video.